on today's episode of Total Recall with Jasper and friends.
Our parents would be like, okay, like, graduate college, get job, get married, have
See you night at the
kids.
museum.
This.
Who could have done it?
The old security guards who had access, opportunity,
Ooh.
and means.
All three! Sarah's litigating a goddamn
They
case right now.
knew.
I'm gonna chase
Ellen
the T-Rex.
wasn't yeehawing.
Yeah. Yeah!
Yeah.
You know? That was pretty good.
So sit back, relax. And if there's one person who can kind of sum up what this whole episode is about, it's the late great Indiana Jones. Because this thing belongs in a museum!
Welcome back to Total Recall with Jasper and friends. Today, my friend is none other than Sarah.
Hi, guys. I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you.
Oh, that was so nice and sweet. That was great.
Oh, perfect.
Sarah, it's crazy running into you like this because we just spent the whole weekend like running into each other a bunch of times at Chuck and Lindsay's wedding.
I know.
Future guests, Chuck and Lindsay? Yeah, they'll be after this one. So future guests, Chuck and Lindsay's wedding, which went great.
Such a beautiful weekend. I thought it was so sweet how like they had all of these little traditions that they did in their own way, which like felt really special to them. Like,
Yes.
especially like them being band members and choosing to do a first song versus like a first dance. Like
I didn't bring this up at the wedding. I had this idea like 5 years ago.
Wow.
Because I went to like a family friend's wedding when I was like 21, and I was like, I just don't want to do the dance.
Yeah.
One, I'm not very good at dancing, and two, I'd be even worse at dancing if I know 200 people are looking at me.
Totally.
So I was like, you should be able to do any sort of performance that you would like to do.
Yeah.
Like you can sing, you could like work on a painting together, like you could do whatever you want, like unveil it at the wedding. But it's more like you worked on something as a couple and you're like showing it to the world at the wedding should be the ground rules for this.
Yeah.
And I had this idea and I told Kate and Adam about it and they were like, why are you thinking about this? And I was like, I shouldn't be like, you're right. But anyway.
It's like your version of wedding Pinteresting. I think if I were to do your idea, I would like take a moment to thank all the people that came to the wedding.
I mean, you should be thanking them anyway.
Well, I feel like honestly, like, and maybe this is just like me, but like, so much of my friends and family are so like important in my life that like,
Aww.
yes, you speak to them individually, but like, the whole day is like, oh, I love my significant other, and like I vowed to them, and then like people are talking about you, so like
It's so true. More people at weddings should be vowing to the crowd.
I mean, maybe just to be like, hey guys, like thanks all for coming. I don't know, that's what I would do, but like
That's great. Maybe not during your first dance should you be talking about other people, but I hear the sentiment for sure. I do like the idea of like...
when you put it like that.
But we are not here to talk about Sarah's upcoming wedding. She's not getting married.
Nope.
Anyway, we're here to talk about the film Night at the Museum, which has a key place in Sarah and Jasper lore. Sarah, do you want to give the background on Night at the Museum and us?
I absolutely would love to. So about a year ago, I was on a particularly painful second date with this guy.
Oh
who
man,
I've
a
been
painful
talking to.
second date is tough.
Yeah, it was like one of those like go to the museum, he donates $1 for the both of us type of thing, and then
big spender.
referred to the gym Equinox as the Knox. So I was
So he's a cool guy.
I was icked and I was done, and I
Was the
ended
ick the Knox thing?
that was like the final straw for me. Gotta tell ya, like
Okay, cool.
he like slipped in a conversation, and I was like, I'm never gonna see you again.
Cool. That's smart. Okay, so then what happened?
So quickly cut our evening short, and then realized that I had a world of opportunity open to me, and I dialed you up, and I was like, hey Jasper, I'm in your neighborhood. What are you doing?
And I was doing nothing. I was stoned on my couch watching movies, as I often am. Sorry, Mom. And Sarah was like, can I come join you? And I was like, sure. And then she came over, and we were trying to find a movie to watch. We went back and forth, and then I don't even know, how did we settle on Night at the Museum?
I think it was just like honestly like the nostalgia, and like we were using Disney Plus as like a last resort because we had gone through a bunch of platforms and we're kind of like on anything.
Disney Plus is the last resort. It means you're like desperate and don't want to think.
And it was like I think it was the first thing that we both had like a positive like reaction to, and we're like, that's it, we're going for it.
Well, because Night at the Museum is, as we will get into, a Pike Family certified classic film. I'm quite fond of this movie. But we did watch it. We were very stoned. And now we've watched it again a month ago, and now we're going to talk about it. But before we do that, I'm going to give you a little fact or two, or maybe like 10, because I got excited about Night at the Museum. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay. Night at the Museum is a 2006 action-adventure comedy starring Ben Stiller, Robin Williams, Carla Gugino, Dick Van Dyke, and Owen Wilson. It was written by Robert Ben Garant, Thomas Lennon, and it was directed by Sean Levy. The movie adapted the 1993 children's book of the same name by Milan Trench, I don't know. He's Croatian, so he moved from Croatia to New York City in the early 90s, where he created comic strips for the magazine Heavy Metal Magazine. You a subscriber?
No.
That's shocking. He also did illustrations for the New York Times, the New Yorker, and the Wall Street Journal.
Wow, what a resume.
I know. It was there that he visited the American Museum of Natural History for the first time, and the rest, as they say at the museum, is natural.
Or history.
I'll be honest with you, when I wrote that this afternoon, I was giggling to myself. I think
You're like, this is gonna land.
no one's gonna laugh at that. That's just to make me happy. That's a JP joke. The book is
You
slightly
should tagline that, like JP joke, and like
Ooh.
anytime it happens in them, have like a little JP joke.
I like a little sound
Sorry
effect.
to like creative director podcast
No.
as a guest on it.
No, all suggestions are welcome. It is coming out tomorrow, so it's a little bit like late to make big
season
suggestions.
2.
But I do like the idea of having a JP joke and then like a boo
Yeah.
or something like I don't know, some sort of sound effect.
Yeah.
I'll get Chase to pick out a cool synth.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
You're doing great. The book is slightly different from the eventual film. On the page, the dinosaurs come to life, but none of the rest of the museum comes to life. It's just the dinosaurs. And the night
Lame.
guard's main job is to keep the dinosaurs from leaving the museum and going out and like running rampant in New York City, which is kind of cool, but like not as fun. So this story was really fleshed out by our writers and our director, Sean Levy, who at this time was best known for directing mid-budget family comedies like Big Fat Liar and Cheaper by the Dozens 1 and 2.
Shut up.
What
Love
are you?
Cheaper by the Dozen 1 and 2.
So you want to hear my dumb Cheaper by the Dozen joke?
Yeah.
It should have been called, the second one should have been called Cheaper by the Baker's Dozen.
Oh, you're so right.
It's funny.
Yeah.
And they just called it Cheaper by the Dozen 2? That doesn't make any sense.
I can't
That's
believe
14.
I missed that.
Yeah, I'm a big Fat Liar fan. I think that movie's quite good. Okay. But at this point, Levy is kind of like a family film creator, but he's like not really doing much else. And then this movie's a big success, and it ultimately catapults him into the high end of Hollywood directors, where he has remained a dependable, if oftentimes infuriating, creator of big-budget action comedies such as Date Night, Real Steel, Free Guy, The Atom Project, and Deadpool and Wolverine. Do you have any opinions on the filmography of Sean Levy?
I gotta say, I saw the new Deadpool and I did not like it.
It's not good.
Oh, thank
No, it's
God.
bad.
Wow, this might be actually one of the few things I think we've ever like agreed on that
That's
everyone
exciting for
else
the next rest of this podcast.
has like not agreed on.
People, that movie, so,
I did not like.
no. Long story super short, I had to have dental surgery a while ago. And so I was like high on pain meds. So I was like, oh, I'll go see Deadpool and Wolverine. That's the mindset you should probably be in for that movie. And instead, I felt so terrible about myself and just like so awful because the movie is like using your childhood against you. And I'm sitting there like high on pain meds, just like, why do these people hate 13-year-old Jasper? Like, why are they trying to make me hate my childhood? And so I'm going through this whole thing and I walk out of the movie. I'm having like this real existential crisis. So I then I take the subway from Lincoln Center all the way down
Your
to the
favorite movie theater.
my favorite movie theater in the city, all the way down to the Film Forum, and I go see like 2 high-minded documentaries to like make myself feel better.
Still on like pain meds?
Yeah,
This was like an immediate next step for you?
yeah. I took the day off and I had dental surgery like 8 a.m.
Oh, okay.
And so like I just went and saw movies all day because they were like relax, and I was like I don't want to go home because I just will just sit there and be like in pain.
Yeah.
So instead I sat there and was in pain watching Deadpool and Wolverine. But I do really like the movie Real Steel, which Sean Levy directed. So I'll never really get mad at him for that.
Fair enough.
But when the movie was greenlit, the first behind-the-scenes talent hired wasn't Levy. It was art director Claude Paré. I don't know. I'm just going to call her Claude. She had the unenviable task of recreating a real museum in a soundstage in Canada because they did not actually film all the interiors at the museum.
Because expensive.
Because expensive, yes. This is a quote from Claude. We built everything. We had painters doing all the diorama paintings. We found someone who was able to create lion skin for us. When you think about it today, it would all be visual effects, unquote. So they really built all these kind of museum stuff and like recreated a whole thing. Even the T-Rex was made practically, at least for static shots, using glazed styrofoam. So they made a real fake T-Rex. Mickey Rooney, one of the night guards in the movie, was so convinced by the set's authenticity that when he got lost trying to find a bathroom and decided to pee, he peed on what he thought was a real wall outside the soundstage, but turned out to be a fake wall they had created for the movie, upsetting a lot of the people that had worked hard on the wall.
I'm sure.
But, keep your head up, Mickey. It could have happened to anybody.
Agreed. I think it's interesting how, like, the more that I learn about films as an adult that I used to love, the films that, like, really stand out to me are ones that when I hear about the production, someone is so attention to detail, like, sourcing something so meticulously, and I feel like it's those details that help, like, transcend reality a little bit, and, like,
speaking my language right now, for real.
Them feel, like, so memorable, so that, like, when we're, like, 26 and stoned, we still want to watch, like, Night in the Museum.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. This is a movie that cares about the little details. It's also a movie that, like, I think if they make it 5 years later, it's like a Disney Channel original movie made for like $1 million.
Yeah.
It just hit at this right time where they were still making like these like big adventure family comedies that they don't make anymore. And it also just like a really good idea. Like this should be a movie.
I think it also is like, I bet it's like, wasn't it around the time as National Treasure too, like the first one? So like everyone had this like historical love of like God and country.
National Treasure is 2004. This movie
2006,
is 2006. So it is right about the same time when like just a lot of bangers are coming out.
Yeah.
You know, or
Season
maybe
2,
maybe we were just
Treasure.
kids. I can do National Treasure right now. I think that might not be fair for everybody else. So a couple other production-related tidbits before we get into it. Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller only spent a single day together on set, since almost all of their scenes were digitally paced together to make it look like one was small and one was big. It is crazy. In scenes where Stiller interacted with Wilson's like little miniature guy, they actually had like a little toothpick there to represent the signs, and Stiller acted opposite a toothpick, which is a testament to the man's craft. Levy, the director, also performed as a stand-in for the T-Rex in the scene where the T-Rex was bounding around the museum. So he would chase around Ben Stiller, being like, this is how far away the T-Rex is going to be from you.
That's
so
so funny.
There's probably footage of that somewhere, and I would like to request someone send it to me.
Disney, please send it our way.
Disney, at Walt, in the cryo chamber or wherever you are, please send me the footage. Trainers also spent several weeks training Crystal, who plays the troublemaking monkey Dexter, to slap Ben Stiller in the film. So they actually had to train him to do this because he didn't want to slap Ben Stiller. He's a nice guy, but they did that for real, which is, good stuff.
Wow.
The movie comes out on December 22nd, my sister's birthday, the second movie we've done on this podcast to come out on December 22nd, and makes $574 million worldwide, becoming the fifth highest grossing film of 2006.
Wow, great Christmas time. Like, you're home with the kids. We're going to see Night in the Museum. I think I saw one of the sequels at, like, Christmas time with my family.
It's a classic, like, fun for the whole family. I'm pretty sure we watched it in the theaters as a family, because we go to the, like, sometimes we go to the Christmas movie theaters and we, like, split up, and, like, me and my dad will go see, like, an action movie, and, like, my sister will go see, like, the Disney movie, and my mom will pick. But this time I think we all went to this one. It also increased attendance at the Museum of Natural History by 20% during the holiday season when it came out. So that turned out to be like 50,000 people that went to the museum that wouldn't have gone without Night in the
Stimulating the New
Museum.
York City economy during the holiday time.
Yeah, movies are important. This is kind of the the moral of the story. Okay, so that was the background. And now it's time for Sarah's softball question. Sarah, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Sarah, you are an expert on all things influencer marketing.
Yes.
So my question to you is this. Which historical figure would be the best influencer and why?
Oh.
No, pre-internet. They can't have existed in a world where they could have done this.
Yeah. Teddy Roosevelt. If we're
Interesting.
talking from, like, the movie.
No. Any historical figure.
Okay, great. I'm going to go from the movie.
Okay.
I think Teddy Roosevelt from the movie, just because, like, thinking about, like, the optics and, like, the ability to inspire and motivate is something that is so important in influencers these days.
Is it?
Yeah, because, like, like in a very transactional way, inspire you to buy a product, inspire you to learn more about a company's service.
I feel like Teddy Roosevelt might find the whole thing a bit icky, but maybe that's me idealizing
But I
him.
think that like when we think about like influencer, like influencer is something that isn't like a new concept. Like it was word of mouth. It was like print. And like when we think about like advice columns in the 50s, like those are technically people of like
the like Ask
influencers.
Amy stuff?
Yeah, or like people that in like before even anything else like would go and like shout in the town square, like the travel of word of mouth and the communication from one person, like someone had influence to like inspire anything. So whether it be like religion, education, political, like people have always been influencing in this way and in this competitive free market. Of course, we've commoditized it and capitalization
Capitalism rocks. It's a great system. We should keep it.
of it, and so people have found a way to like make money off it, and brands have found a way to like make money off these creators that are making money.
And you think Teddy would be a good creator?
I think you asked influencer.
Influencer.
I think
are those two different things?
Yeah, like if you really think about it, because like someone who's like Travis Kelce isn't a creator. Like
No,
he's an
just
NFL.
like a dude.
He's an NFL athlete, and he's an influencer because he is by nature a human with influence. If you think about like a cool Brooklyn visual designer who's doing graphics and like CGI and fashion,
I'm picturing her.
they're more of a creator, and
Okay.
like they're telling a story of their like artistic journey. So like it really is kind of like an ever-moving target. It's something we talk about with brands.
Okay. Huh. Okay. I like that. I feel like I learned something there.
Great.
That was
Thanks
great.
for the softball
Usually I'm the
question.
one doing like dumb lessons, and that seemed like it was important. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the rules of the game. Sarah obviously knows the rules. This is for the audience. We will have 30 minutes to recap Night at the Museum, which we watched over a month ago. When we finish up, I will read the Wikipedia to see if we missed anything. And at the end of the season, the person or team with the best memory wins 24 cookies, courtesy of Mom in the Mail. Sarah, do you have a favorite cookie?
Like chocolate chip or sugar cookie. I love sugar cookies.
Sugar cookie's a good
Actually,
answer. It's
that's
like,
all
because
a
you're never
lie.
mad about a sugar cookie like being in front of you.
I think my favorite is like actually a seasonal, which is gingerbread with vanilla icing.
Ooh, gingerbread. No one said gingerbread yet.
That's
okay.
my favorite for sure, but it's like very hard to procure in
No.
like real life.
You also like can't be having that in July. Like you gotta be having that in December.
Or like November.
Yeah. Like
And maybe
post,
January.
Yeah,
Like,
but like
bleed
post
in.
Thanksgiving, but like not after Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's your gingerbread time period.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can have eggnog, you can have gingerbread, and then you can't
Like
have either.
peppermint bark timeline. Yeah.
Exactly right. Okay.
Let's go.
When we come back, Sarah plays the game. All right. It's time to play Total Recall. Let's get 30 minutes on the clock for Sarah. Thank you very much. And the countdown starts in 3, 2. Okay, Night at the Museum. Where do we want to start? What do we remember?
Okay, so like the opening scene is I think like the New York skyline, right? And it's,
Oh,
like,
wow.
setting the
Okay, New York
stage.
skyline.
Because it's very like early 2000s, like montagey, like setting the stage. Ben Stiller is there.
Do we remember his name? I think it's Larry.
Larry, yes. I was gonna say Greg, but Larry, you're so
Yeah.
right.
What's he up to?
His
What's he
kid's
doing?
Nikki. He's going to visit his son because he's divorced, and his wife's new boyfriend or fiance or husband. I don't think they're married.
I think they're married. It's Paul Rudd, no?
yeah.
Yeah.
But-
visiting his son with ex-wife
His name is.
and we'll just say new guy, Paul
I think it's
Rudd.
Don.
I don't remember. Do you want to call him Don?
Sure.
Yeah.
And he works in bonds.
He's like
He's
a
like a-
stock guy.
Yeah, he's your finance bro.
He has like a belt that has like the most 2006 like version of a finance guy, which is like a guy who has like 10 phones.
Do you think he's wearing a vest?
I don't. No, he's not. He's wearing, just because he's at home, he's wearing the full suit, no jacket. So he's got his tie and his like button down, and he's got his belt that has all the phones. And we were like not mocking these people all the time. Like, what
Yeah.
were we doing in 2006? Okay, but anyway, Ben Stiller's going over there. His wife's like being a little judgy.
Yeah.
She's like, are you gonna get your shit together? And he's like, I got my shit together. What are you talking about?
Because he always has an idea, but it's never paid off.
Yeah,
Like,
Ben Stiller's got ideas.
He's like a dreamer, ideator, like innovator Elon Musk wannabe.
Let's have him be someone better.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates wannabe. He's inventor.
Yeah.
Okay. You can also type whenever you want to.
Right.
Okay, so he picks up his son and they go play hockey? Is this now? Or
Yes. They're going to hockey practice?
Hockey
game?
Hockey game? Yes, hockey game.
And
hockey
he loses,
game.
and it doesn't go well.
No. So here's what happens. He goes injured on the ice.
Oh, yeah.
And then Ben Stiller like walks up and he goes, "Hey buddy, you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, Dad, I'm fine." And then Ben Stiller's like, "Here's some free advice about hockey," which is cheating, not cool. But he does give his kid free advice about hockey, and then the kid scores a goal, and everyone's like, "Woo! Yeah! Go hockey!" Hockey game. Yeah. Write this down. Get this in there.
Larry, Gibbs, Nikki.
Nikki's a kid. We said
trading.
that. Insider. That's what they call it in sports.
A goal.
Yeah, we can go back and correct spelling later. Don't worry
Great.
about it. Okay. And then I think do you remember what happens now? Go for it.
I think that they have like this talk because like he doesn't have a job and Nikki's like, I don't want to be a hockey player anymore. I want to go work at a bank.
Yeah.
And then
Nikki
he
wants to
brings
be like Paul Rudd.
his new dad, I think, to career day or something, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that? I don't know.
I feel like is this happening now? No. Oh no. Okay.
But
so
they talk about it.
They do. So he's like, I want to be a banker, and Ben Stiller's like, banker? That guy has 18 phones. That's not cool.
Right.
And then I think he drops him off, and then he like goes to the temp agency or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So okay, temp agency. Girl's like, great resume, dude.
Go be this night in the museum security guard.
I have a position for you. Right.
Only
So
that's how like it worked in real life.
I don't know. I feel like every time I hear about like how jobs work before like LinkedIn, I'm just very confused.
Yeah.
I'm like, you mean you just like went and like brought them a piece of paper and they hired you? Like that's crazy.
Right.
And you had to like take off of work to go do it. It's unbelievable.
Imagine lying.
I mean, yeah, imagine. I could never do that. I would never lie, not even once. I'm always honest with you. Okay, so he has a position shoe. It's the night guard
And he
at
goes
the museum.
to the museum.
That's the title of the freaking movie.
It's the night guard at the museum. You're so right.
He's the night at the museum.
Museum.
Okay, so yeah, and then
So he goes to meet the three. He goes to the museum and he meets three guys. Yes,
Yep,
there are
three
three old security guards. One of who is Dick Van Dyke, which famously Disney actor, Mary Poppins. The cinematography goes for years, decades.
hell yeah,
Anyway,
hell yeah.
So
Do you
they-
think Dick Van Dyke out?
I don't know. I wouldn't say.
I think he's fantastic, and I also am cool that like he's like still alive and like doing interviews.
Kicking it.
You know what I mean?
So
Like
was Julie Andrews.
he's not like Jimmy Carter who's like going and like just sitting in a hospice center like waiting to die. Like Dick Van Dyke's out and about telling us about what art should be, and I think that's pretty cool.
I agree.
Okay.
So he goes and the guys are like, "You got this, my dude. Like, we are old. We are retiring. This is so easy." But when they leave, they like give a weird message. What do they say? It's
They
like,
give him. They're like, here's the book of instructions.
Yeah.
You better do it. And
No.
he's like, do you...
They say it's like, don't let anything in.
Oh yeah,
or
don't
out or something. It's like in a weird way. And Ben Stiller's like, "What the frick do you mean by
or
that?"
out. How? The museum, everything's dead. Like it's
Yeah.
not moving. Why would they go out? You sound crazy, Dick
Yeah,
Van Dyke.
he was like, nothing's gonna get out because the only thing that would be in there that could get out would be me, and I'm not gonna let myself out.
Right. Does he meet the love interest here too? The hot mom from Spy Kids?
Yes, and also from
I want to just say right now, but we're on her. She's so hot in Spy Kids. Like, oh my god.
yeah.
Like, I now know as an adult it's because she was like 29, but like, it's crazy.
And all moms should be 29.
Yeah, and like dumb spy movies, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, she was kicking all sorts of ass. She was married to Antonio Banderas. We can't talk about Spy
Because she
Kids
was
now.
doing a tour. She's a tour guide.
She does
She
a
wants
tour.
to be a curator, but she's a tour guide.
Love
and
interest.
she loves Sacagawea.
Loves tour guide.
Wow, thank you for circling back on that.
Loves
How could we forget her?
Ben Stiller.
Likes her. he's like, maybe I could like this job even
Yeah.
though like she's not here during the nighttime.
Yeah. Okay. So then
Yeah.
he's like, so then everyone leaves. The museum closes.
No, he goes to like tell I think his like his ex-wife and kids, and is like, I got a job.
Okay.
I'm a night guard, I think.
Tells wife and kid. I don't remember.
I
So
think
tell.
so.
I do think at some point he's like, I got a new gig at the thing.
At the museum, yeah.
Tells wife and kids he's got a gig.
And then it's his first day.
Then
First night.
it's night 1 at the museum. And he does he's got the big microphone, he's like doing announcements, and he's like taking a nap, and he's like, this
Yeah,
job's
it's
a frickin'
montage of like
peach.
him just like messing around, like
Yeah.
being so unserious.
He's lacking motivation, this guy. He doesn't have his shit together
He's like
at
a
all.
dreamer, but he's not like a doer, as they say.
I don't think at this age you're like allowed to be a dreamer. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Like, I think if you have a kid and you're divorced, I think you got to be like a little bit more realistic.
I feel like he just like has.
But that might be the
no,
theme of the
but
movie.
I feel like he just has this like he's like, I'm gonna make it big. I have an idea and I'll make it big.
Oh, his idea is the snapper.
Oh yeah.
Because he's like a riff on the clapper.
Yep.
I'm gonna put that in here somewhere. All right. So talk about what happens night 1. Like, what happens first?
So he then like mysterious things start happening. Like he starts hearing noises. And
I put the
stuff.
snapper above here, so I'm gonna delete
Oh,
yours.
okay,
All right,
great.
keep going. Weird things.
And I think Dexter the monkey is the first thing. No.
Dino.
Dino's first. Oh yeah, Dino's
Dino
first.
is alive, and he's like, he like puts like a bone. He like chases the dinosaur around.
Yeah.
And then eventually the dinosaur like gives him a bone, and it's on the
He throws
instruction
it.
just like throw the bone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, plays
Yeah.
fetch
Plays fetch.
with Dino. Okay, now who's next? Dexter?
Dexter or Teddy? I thought Dexter was first.
Teddy rescues him when he's like in a real pinch. So maybe it's the Attila guys, the like Hun guys.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
I think it is Dexter, and he like starts kind of like because Dexter is like an ever evolving.
Dexter's
presence
around. He's
because
hanging.
he's chasing the monkey. Like
Dexter the monkey is around.
and then the Huns.
Yeah, we should just mention who we got going on here.
Yeah.
We got Huns.
We got Owen Wilson, who's
Owen
Jedediah,
Wilson and the Romans
who
are
are mini.
fighting as mini guys. We got
Sacagawea.
she's behind the glass. She's not doing anything right now. We got Dum Dum.
Dum Dum
Dum Dum wants Gum Gum.
We got the Egyptian guy screaming behind his Rami Malek.
Egyptian guy screaming in tomb. He's Akhman Ra.
Yeah. Akhman Ra.
Akhman Ra. Like a guy on my fantasy team. And he's Amon Ra St. Brown. He was very disappointing in week 1, even though I took him with my first pick. And I don't like that.
How are you doing in your fantasy?
I'm 1-0 in my work league, and I'm 0-1 in my old Elon / just weird group league. We'll see. Last year at this point, I was unemployed and like locked the fuck in on fantasy. And this year I have like a job and I'm doing this podcast, and I put like maybe 5 minutes of work into it.
Got it.
We're not happy with it. But we should keep going. We're 20 minutes left.
Okay, so they're like, basically, Ben Stiller goes from like chill night to like shit is hitting the fan. And he is kind of in a panic.
Yeah.
Oh, at one point, one of the... This is later, but it's important, so I'm just going to say it now.
Say it out loud.
I remember that like one of the like Hun guys runs out into the street, and then the sun comes up and he turns into dust. So like,
we're way past that, because that's like night 3.
I think it's night 1. I think it's like the
okay.
first time, because
Hun
that's when
gets
he
out.
realizes
Oh!
that like don't let anything
Hun
out.
gets out and turns to dust. We'll just put it in here.
I think it's that's the end of night 1. But Teddy
Okay.
before
But
that.
at this point, yeah, Teddy. Well, Dexter like locks him out. He steals the keys. Dexter's of the like animal room.
Yes.
And he steals the keys, and then Teddy like helps him out.
Yes. And Teddy's in love with Sacagawea.
Teddy is here, and he wants Saka. I'm just gonna call her Saga.
That's fine.
Okay. I feel like we gotta make sure we're setting up all of the various people.
Okay, let's circle back on the miniature guys, because I think that we didn't talk enough about them, and they're
Oh,
hysterical.
they're the best. They're so
and
fun.
easily one of the best parts of the movie.
He's not one of the.
The.
Owen Wilson was like it's crazy because he was like a serious actor and had done some comedies or whatever, but he's like a little bit above this part. But he's so funny.
If you like look at the cast, it's like a stacked cast, and it only like gets more and more stacked.
It's crazy. You got like Paul Rudd in this movie, and he's got like 4 lines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like Ricky Gervais is like the museum director, and it's like all these different people are showing up, and you're like, huh? And then like Rami Malek shows up, and you're like, he hasn't been here for an hour and 20 minutes. This is crazy. But I think this was like his first thing.
Yeah.
Rami Malek. Okay.
Okay.
So Hans tries. Teddy is here. He wants helps Ben get out of animal cage.
And then
do we miss anything else? Night 1. I feel like we must. So much happens, but it's like, is any of it important?
Yeah, I think that's like enough. Like chaos abounds. Teddy helps him because like we have this whole movie to get through.
Yeah. Okay. So Ben is like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah, he is suddenly very like pressed about this.
No, he does not. He doesn't want to do this job anymore. He like the old guys come back.
And then career day happens because that's what inspires him to stay because he sees, I think.
He quits career day.
Well.
So I think what happens.
You probably know better than me.
And I don't want to overrule you because this is your episode, but
no,
I think he walks out of the museum and he's like, I quit. And he's like leaving and his kid is on the steps. And he's like, Dad, I came to visit you at work. And he's like, oh, maybe another time. And he comes back and he goes, you know what? Maybe I'll give it another shot.
Okay.
And then this is when he like learns history. Okay, wait. I'm gonna write all this.
Wait, that's what Teddy says. Is like he's like learn the histories. I remember that. Yeah, he's like learn the histories because then he like brainstorms all these ways to like make things better and to like rule the museum and be the night guard of the museum.
Yeah. Okay.
The shepherd.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay.
He's a shepherd.
So he learns about history to help him deal with the madness. Does anything else happen during the day? He gets a tour from love interest.
Right. Yes. That's part of his history learning. It's like I feel like this movie is a lot of montages.
It's 90% montages because it's big. There's so much happens.
Like world building.
Yeah.
And like visual like.
I do think this is like it's a weird thing where there's like it has such an appreciation for what makes museums cool and that there's like all sorts of just like stuff. But all that stuff is not just like a painting. It's like, oh, that was like a human that had a whole story that if you wanted to, you could spend all day learning about just that one part of the museum. And because they didn't have to make it up, it was like a real thing that existed. All they had to do was like make Christopher Columbus a like D character.
Yeah.
But you know about Christopher Columbus, and they do all that stuff. But there's all these different people going on. So he learns about history, and he comes back the next day, and he uses what he learns to like apparently at first fix stuff.
Yeah, like he puts the bone on a car that like drives around so he can focus on other things.
Bone on car.
He gives Dum Dum Gum Gum like a big wad of gum gum.
Dum Dum gets big wad of gum gum. What kind of gum do you think he was giving him? Like some Hubba Bubba? Like some mint gum?
It's like pink.
It is pink. Oh, gum. So for real.
Also, I don't think we talked about this, but circling back to that first night when he like falls in Owen Wilson's like cage and he like the train like goes and they're like running over him.
No, because they're trying to expand. He goes, westward expansion, you can't stop it. You can only hope to contain it. And they're like trying to ram a tram through the wall of the mural. And he goes, God damn it didn't work. And then the Romans are like, you must stop and we must conquer you. Oh, it's such a cool. It's so cool because I
wish we did the whole podcast about them.
We can. It doesn't fucking matter. We also should just do a whole movie about little dioramas fighting.
Yes.
Like that is so dope. Like they have that whole in the end. We haven't gotten to it yet, but in the end when they have that whole scene where they're like fighting over the bench and they're like, it's so dope. Okay. What else is he like? He does magic for the cavemen.
Yep.
Gives them fire.
What does he do to the Huns? Yeah, he gives them the Hun.
Oh no, he gives cavemen fire, magic for the Huns.
Yes.
Cavemen gives them fire, Huns magic. And then sorcery.
He lets
this is what he's doing, and it's like
yeah.
The whole Huns thing is the only part of this movie where like Also the fact that like Robin Williams is like into a girl that's like 30 years younger than him, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Although it's Sacagawea, like she's a mural. It's fine.
She's on a coin.
She's on a coin. What coin is?
It's a dollar coin.
Huh? I didn't
And
know
her
that.
baby. It's the only coin that has 2 people on it.
Huh? Okay.
Fun fact.
That's her baby's on there.
Yeah, because she has it on her back.
Oh, that's nice. She's dope.
Yeah.
I'm
Queen.
a Sacagawea stan. A Sacagawea.
So is
a
the lady that he likes. In the
So
movie.
is Robin Williams. He's a Sacagawea.
And so is the girlie.
A Sacajastan?
Sacagawea fan.
A Sacagawea fan. Okay.
A Sacagawea fan.
Okay. Science magic. Everything's going great.
Yep. And then he's like, I got this.
Yeah, because he's like, I got this under control. And then how does this one turn bad? This night also turns bad too.
So the next night, because he like had one night, typical man, one bad night, one good night. He's like, I'm the king of the world.
I think this night goes bad too. No.
No, it's fine. And then he brings his kid and like is hyping up that
Okay.
the museum like comes alive. And then his kid is there and nothing happens.
No. That's not it. I'm surprised at how much I remember about this.
Am I like skipping parts?
You are, but you were so close.
Because the guys are stealing it. Like the old security guard.
So we're like 20 minutes from there.
Fuck.
We're 20 minutes from the plan. What we have to do right now is talk about how he gets caught because the cavemen have built a fire thing in the exhibit.
Oh,
and it's
yes.
it looks all wrong.
Yes.
And Ricky Gervais is like, unacceptable.
Fired.
Can you do a Ricky Gervais impression?
Unacceptable.
Perfect. You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired. He gets fired in front of the kid. The kid sees him gets fired, and he goes, "Oh, yeah." Kid sees,
That's
and-
tough. I forgot about that. That's painful.
and then I think Ben eventually argues for his job back.
And he gets it.
Yeah, because and then because this is the end of his trial period,
Right.
and now do what you were saying before.
Oh, okay, great. So then after he gets nearly fired, he's like, it's bring your kid to work day. Come on, Nikki, we're going to spend the night in the museum.
Yeah.
Famously, the title of the movie.
Ben spends the night.
In the museum. And so...
Okay, I gotta distract you. We're making really good time. No, but that makes... Okay, so Ben spends the night at the museum. I feel like we're missing stuff.
We're missing career day,
We're missing...
I feel
Career
like.
Day? No, Career Day is in...
Did it, like... But no, because I feel like the last time we talked about it, you were like, no, that's not what happens.
He quits, old guy comes back. Maybe Career Day was at the beginning. Maybe you're right.
I feel like it was.
Okay. Go put Career Day back somewhere.
So career day is...
We also have Nikki spelled like 18 different ways in here. That's
I'm like such a bad typer.
No,
and,
this
like,
is gonna be great.
also, I hate-
Everyone's got things, and I'll fix like stuff that's like super blatant, but stuff that's funny, I'll keep.
Okay,
That's the
so-
rules I've decided for myself.
Teddy's here. He quits. Kid shows up. He decides.
We should talk about how this movie is just kind of magical. You know, should we talk about that?
Well, I was kind of thinking a minute ago. It is giving us trying to recount it as if we went to the Natural History Museum.
Yeah.
And tried to tell people like what we had learned about.
I hate this. When you go to a museum and someone's like, "What'd you learn?" and I'm like, "Fuck, did I learn nothing at the museum? I was looking at all this different stuff, but it all seems like it's gone." Which is, part of the premise of this podcast, but also like, but I do think I do feel like we're missing a bunch of stuff, but I think most of it is just vibes. There's a lot of just like good times going on, and
Well,
you
I
learn
think
about
that, like,
history.
Part of what makes this movie so magical, and again, it's like what we talked about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
the attention to detail is like, it is almost very surface level, but goes like very deep for like 2 or 3 minutes to build this
Yeah.
world of these little miniatures.
Absolutely.
So it feels like we're missing a lot because like,
Because we don't need
needs-
to tell you who like the Huns are. Like you know who the
and
Huns
like
are.
in the montages, like it's quick to like run past them.
Yeah, I do feel like Dexter might have gone on to some stuff here, gotten up to some stuff. Okay, but all right.
I mean,
so
Dexter is just like, I think as like a character so interesting because like all
the monkey. He's one of your favorites.
Oh, not like as a character, but like as a device in the movie because
Mm.
like he's something very similar to like the museum. Like he's a pain in the ass. Like
Mm.
all he does is torture Ben Stiller, but he has this affection and love for him. And I feel
No,
like he has
100%.
this towards all of the characters. Like when
Yes.
he's like caring for them and like bringing like the statue gum.
We
What?
forgot something.
What did we forget?
We forgot. So he goes on a little coffee date with the love interest.
Yes.
And he tells the love interest that everything comes alive at night,
And
and
she-
she's like, "You're crazy."
Yes.
Okay,
Also,
I'll put that back in here.
Back in like the what we're gonna talk about later, there's like a lot of like a couple like 30 seconds to like show that these like security guard people are like shifty as hell. Like there's a scene where like when they come back to give him advice after his first night, like you can see Dick Van Dyke like copying a key, and like for that has like permanently impacted my life, because now I don't understand why like apartments are like, you can't copy our keys, and I'm like, it's really easy. Like
I actually think you've solved the question in that sentence. I really think we're trying to figure out why you can't copy keys, and probably you were like, that's pretty weird that he's copying keys. But that's okay. Okay, so Ben is spending the night at the museum, right?
Yes.
And Ben Stiller.
So he brings his kid.
Nikki's the kid. Nikki spends the night at the museum, and Ben's like, this is gonna be crazy. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be nuts, Nikki.
You're gonna love it.
You're gonna be so proud of your old man who was just doing weird snaps, and now I've got a great job as a night guard. Look at this.
And not only a night guard, like a night guard at like the coolest museum ever.
That's true. For like, yeah, it's a very cool job for your dad to have. And he's like, look at this alive dinosaur. And the dinosaur didn't do shit. The dinosaur's still. And you're like, the fuck's going on? These guys are supposed to be alive by now. It's night at the museum. But they're not alive. So he's like, what the fuck?
Why aren't they alive?
What's going on?
I can't believe this. It's
So-
a little embarrassing for me, truthfully.
It is embarrassing. So what happens now?
So then they start like investigating.
Right.
Because didn't the night guards tell him that the tablet was what made things come
We
alive?
know. Yes, we know. I'm gonna put tablet makes things comes alive.
And then they run to the room and it's gone.
Yeah.
Cause like,
Tablet makes people come alive.
cause in one of the other movies, like one of the like tiles flips and it like everyone's asleep, and that's like when they're in the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
This is just like missing. It's gone.
This is not Battle at the Smithsonian. Battle at the Smithsonian is in the future.
I know, but the tablet's just like missing, gone.
Tablet is missing.
And we're circling right back to that key copying.
Yeah.
Who could have possibly done this?
Who could have done it?
The old security guards who had access, opportunity,
Ooh.
and means.
All three. Sarah's litigating a goddamn
They
case right
knew.
now. They did know.
And they had a fall guy because they set up this idiot to do it, who like had already let the Huns lit a fire and who had quit and like was not like, he was one foot in,
Everyone,
one foot out.
he would have been an
He's the perfect
absolute
fall guy.
chump for sure. This guy's like going to jail for this. He's going to the big house. So if they stole the tablet, how do the things come back alive?
I think that they get the tablet, or like I think there's like a conflict.
Yes, he finds them stealing the tablet.
Yeah.
He like grabs it, and then things come back alive.
Yeah, because he
again?
brings it, or maybe this is not. Maybe the when they're moving it, it's not Battle of the Smithsonian. It's now when like the tablet is like on its side, and then they put it right side up.
Yeah.
And then everything starts coming back to life. Because remember the one in the middle? It's like 9.
I don't
it's
think.
like,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't think that's this movie. I think. So I'm just gonna say somehow.
things start coming back to life.
Somehow he gets the tablet. Things start coming back to life.
And Robin Williams helps him.
Yeah, well, okay, but then they still so basically, we're gonna fast forward. This is a gap,
Okay.
but eventually this movie turns into Ben Stiller, his kid, love interest, work together with all of the museum figures to capture the guards.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't remember. Doesn't she come back and is like, I didn't think you were crazy, or like whatever?
No, yeah, she's come back. She's like, oh my god, this guy might be the one. Actually, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? We got time.
Okay.
We're totally rushing it. Okay. Things start coming back to life. So, all right, we're just gonna say,
And like,
the museum people are things, and so now, he goes to.
he has to take the tablet back.
He takes the
to
tablet to Rami Malek.
Rami Malek.
Rami does some magic. And now like the chase is on, right? They're trying to go get the guards who are like escape. Yeah, they're escaping with like all of the evidence, and they're gonna set Ben Stiller up, and they're stealing stuff from the museum.
They're like taking the tablet and other
This isn't
things.
it.
It's
So
not
this isn't
just
it.
the tablet.
They stole stuff. So I'm so happy for it. Ben Stiller and the gang go to get stuff back. So at first, Robin Williams first line of defense. He gets cut in half by somebody.
Oh my god, you're so right. But he's just a wax figurine, so he's fine.
Yeah,
and Sacagawea is freaking out.
Yeah. Oh, because they throw a chair. And Sacagawea gets broken out of the glass thing, and him and Robin Williams have a moment. It's adorable. They're kind of cute together. I kind of like them together.
Forbidden, unrequited love of through the glass,
So true, so romantic. Okay, 3 minutes left. Ben Stiller goes to stuff. Okay, Robin Williams chopped in half. Okay, now Dick Van Dyke escapes on the horse carriage, and
they're going through Central Park.
They go through Central Park, and who's after him? Our miniature guys. They're crushing it. We forgot to do this whole part where he solves the little crisis with the miniature guys with fighting each other, but we don't have time. So the miniature guys, they're in a little RV car.
Yes.
And they have the bone on the car.
And the T-Rex is chasing after to get him.
T-Rex is, so they do that, and so they're trying to chase the T-Rex.
Yeehawing.
Yeah. Yeehaw! You know? That was pretty good.
You do a great Owen Wilson.
Thank you. I don't know that. Wow. Oh, Night at the Museum. What a picture.
Wow, good job.
Thank you. I just love Ben Stiller. Okay, so go to step back. I haven't written any of this down.
Oh, right,
my
sorry. No, I'll help.
You gotta go. Yeah. All right. I think the Huns get one guard.
Minis chase Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, in the car with Dino. Ben Stiller also rides against them. Rides with them or whatever.
But he's with the patriotic people, right?
There's this the Civil War guys.
Yeah.
And they're helping him out. We didn't even mention this. They don't talk though, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Civil War guys are here. I'm trying to remember who else is around. Sacagawea is helping Robin Williams. Okay. So then they're riding the carriage through the park. And Dick Van Dyke's you'll never be able to slow these people down. You have to know a secret word that'll make the horses slow down. And Ben Stiller knows the word, which is Oklahoma?
Yeah. Dick Van Dyke, you will never catch me.
Oklahoma. I'm in Oklahoma. They toss Dick Van Dyke. 1 minute left. They toss Dick Van Dyke off of the carriage. He falls. They take him back to the museum. Everyone's coming back. Ben Stiller's in charge. The Huns have one limb each of Dick Van Dyke, and they're can we please tear him limb from limb? And Ben Stiller's no, that's not cool. We don't want to do that. And they're a little tearing limb from limb, and he's a little tearing limb from limb. You can do that. Anything else we're missing in the end here? Oh.
Sacagawea meets the tour guide lady because they're a huge fan.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's do you have any questions? And he goes you're just so cool.
Yeah.
Then everything's cool and they have a big party at the museum and everyone's dancing, everyone's vibing. I think it's September's
I'm
playing.
proud of you.
Yeah. Oh, the son's you're a good dad. Ben Stiller's I'm the best dad ever. I'm the night guard at the night at freaking museum. 10 seconds. Do we miss anything? Big party. September is playing. Does he get to kiss the girl or no?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. I think you did a great job here, Sarah.
I don't think I got big plot points, but I think we got a lot of niche little things.
I think we did get distracted talking. We didn't do a lot of writing, but I think that's okay.
That's okay.
Okay, but now that we've done that, Night at the Museum as a motion picture.
Okay.
What'd you think?
Love.
Every time I'm I like this movie, and then I put it on, and it's a classic.
Yeah.
And I just get into it. It's 20 minutes longer than it should be. It's longer than it has any really right to be. But it is very good. And I also think it just feels like a simpler time. And also, to your point earlier, the miniatures are genuinely very funny.
I think that is also what makes this movie so good is that and it's again it's a stacked cast, but all of the characters are so invested and in it, and all of the bits are fully developed where you're yeah, this is funny. I can get lost in this reality of these miniatures expanding the West.
And inept security guard gets caught up in different historical misadventures is a thing you can do as they did for 3 straight movies. That's just funny. And Ben Stiller is also he's half straight man, half deadbeat, and he's really funny.
Yeah.
And At this point, I don't think I'd seen any Ben Stiller movies. Like, this was a couple
you
years.
Seen any of Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers?
No, we're gonna Meet the Fockers, people. Like, Dodgeball was my big introduction to Ben Stiller, and that was probably a few years after this.
Okay.
And that was when I was like Dodgeball, like Tropic Thunder, like all that kind of stuff. Which Tropic Thunder, Ben Stiller directed it, like probably the best comedy of the last like 20 years in my book. I freaking love that movie. Any other Night at the Museum takes you want to get off?
I think that, like, this was, again, like, part of that golden age of Disney where, like, it was that full, like, what you said, like, a Pike classic movie.
Certified Pike Family Classic.
There you go. Where, like, you can go, like, it's funny because, like, I love my dad, but my dad is, like, not, like, he likes to watch James Bond movies. And, like...
Yeah, he's a father.
Yeah, so, like, this was a movie that we could all go see where, like, he was interested and it was funny.
Because it's got some history stuff for the dads.
And it had some action. It's not just, like, you know, like, Disney rom-com or, like, anything like that. So I feel like this was, like, part of that golden age. And, like, maybe it's because we were that age where it's, like, nostalgic. But,
yeah. I also think, like... Right around, like, 2012, 2013, like, these movies start going to, like, direct-to-video. Yeah. And then in, like, 2018, 2019, they start going to streaming. And then there's, like, no space for the, like, PG family adventure reel anymore. Even though, like, Jumanji's a big hit. Like, the Rock movie, like, If with Ryan Reynolds made a bunch of money. Like, these things, like, do hit when they come out in theaters. But now there's, like, only animated stuff. There's not live-action kids movies that, like, your dad wants to go to.
And I wonder if it's because of, like, how advertising has inherently changed and, like, who we're marketing to. And, like, also the, like, statistic that, like, millennials and Gen Zs, like, they are procreating, like, less than our parents were, like, Gen X. Like, it's just true. Like, we don't... Like,
you hear that? Sarah says all the millennials and Gen X got to start procreating, and we got to start now.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm hearing that's what you're saying. You're saying, like, we all got to start procreating.
But, like, how we live our lives, I think, has changed. Where, like, our parents would be like, okay, like, graduate college, get job, get married, have
see
kids.
Night at the Museum.
Yeah, have kids, see Night at the Museum. Whereas, like, that's not what's happening all the time. So, like, what is the space? Like, the space, I think, is a lot smaller.
Yeah, I also think this has something to do with, like, these movies are just superhero movies now.
That sucks.
It's
terrible.
Now that I'm really thinking, it is horrible because it's like now it's like what's the movie like the 12-year-old kid goes to with his dad? It's like it's Deadpool and Wolverine. It's Iron Man, and it's like that's cool, but it's like there should be a place for like me and my dad to go see like Tron Legacy and have like a blast, or like go see like National Treasure.
Tron Legacy.
That movie fucking rules. The first 40 minutes of the movie is legit like a masterpiece, and then the whole thing kind of falls apart once he leaves the arena. But like everything on Earth, and then everything where he like enters into the Tron world, and he's like riding his bike, and he meets Olivia Wilde. It's like this is so
Jeff
cool.
Bridges.
And Jeff Bridges is playing himself twice. And the Daft Punk's going.
Perhaps season 2 instead of National Treasure, we do Tron Legacy.
My jaw just dropped because I would love that, and then I can play like Daft Punk the whole time. Okay. Good thought, but for right now, it's time for us to find out what actually happened in Night at the Museum. Are you ready? Are you nervous?
Ready.
Okay. In New York City, Larry Daly, Larry, we got it right, is a divorced, aspiring inventor bouncing between jobs and apartments. His former wife, Erica, is sympathetic to his situation, but considers him a bad example to their 10-year-old son, Nick. Nicky, that's pretty close.
I think he calls him Nicky.
Yeah, I think we're right about this. An elementary schooler who considers quitting ice hockey and plans to become a bond trader like his mother fiance, Dawn. Excellent stuff, Sarah. When he grows up.
All my details leave after that moment.
Listen, a lot of people struggle with the names. You crushed this. When Larry worries that Nick admires Dawn instead of him, especially after Nick decides to invite Dawn to Career Day, so Career Day was at the beginning, Larry is hired as the night security guard at the Museum of Natural History, replacing guard Cecil Fredericks and his colleagues Gus and Reginald. Like, those are some
Cecil's
old
Dick
dude.
Van Dyke.
Yeah, those are some old dude names.
They all look like frogs, too.
Yes.
Like, how you would imagine an animated frog.
Kind of. I mean, I'm just thinking Princess and the Frog right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Cecil gives Larry a special instructions manual, warning him not to let anything in ... or out. We got that.
Okay, good.
On his first night at the museum, Larry discovers that the museum's exhibits come to life after sunset, including Rexy, a T-Rex skeleton that behaves like a playful dog, Dexter, a mischievous stuffed monkey who destroys Larry's manual, along with taxidermied animals and later his keys, rival miniature civilizations depicting the Old West, ancient Rome, and ancient Maya, a chewing gum-loving Easter Island head, American Civil War mannequins, wax models of Attila the Hun and some of his men, Neanderthals, was the cavemen, and Sacagawea, who is encased in glass and cannot hear anything.
We really forgot about the Civil War, guys.
The Civil War, we did mention them at the end. A horse-mounted Teddy Roosevelt rescues Larry from feuding with miniature leaders Jebediah and Octavius.
When he's tied up in the train.
Yes, and he's like, we gotta expand or die, Ben Stiller. This is eerily similar to the voice I did for Larry the Cable Guy earlier this season.
I love that they just like tie him to this miniature train station, and in this train track, like they're gonna run over him, and they're like, "This is it."
It's so funny. Like the idea that like the old West miniatures want to expand into the miniature set like next to them is like really funny.
It's their like natural instinct.
So, and Roosevelt explains that ever since an ancient Egyptian artifact, the golden tablet of Pharaoh Akhmen-Ra, we got Akhmen-Ra, we're crushing this, arrived in 1952, the exhibits come to life each night but will turn to dust if left outside the museum at sunrise. As Teddy helps restore order, Larry learns that Teddy is in love with Sacagawea but is too shy to speak to her.
Aww.
The glass also might have something to do with that. Perhaps. Cecil, Reginald, and Gus, the old night guards, check in on Larry, who has decided to quit. But Nick and Don, Paul Rudd and the son show up to congratulate him on his new job. Larry decides to stay because of his son, and Cecil advises him to read up on his history. Larry is better able to control the exhibits, but is forced to distinguish a fire that the cavemen caused in their own display, while Dexter steals his keys again and unlocks a window, allowing a Neanderthal to jump out. So the Neanderthal jumps out night 2, not night 1. But we got that. That's pretty good. And escape onto the street.
Do we get like partial credit for like right, but like not in right place?
Yeah, you get half a point.
Okay, cool.
I haven't done any of the grading yet, but I will.
That's okay.
I'm waiting until I record everybody, and then I'll grade everybody once. He sees a group of homeless people using a fire pit, and he falls into dust outside. Frustrated, Larry again decides to quit, sensing a theme, and is unable to save the escaped Neanderthals from disintegrating from the rising sun, and his remains are swept up by a street sweeper. This is a very detailed Wikipedia. Nick witnesses museum director Dr. McPhee fire his father over the damaged exhibit.
Ricky
Gervais. Exactly. And he's like, also, God's not real. Though Larry convinces McPhee to reconsider, and he keeps his job. Rebecca, the museum guide and historian writing her dissertation on Sacagawea, believes Larry is mocking her when he tells her the museum's nighttime secret. Larry brings Nick to the museum, but nothing comes to life, and they discover Cecil, Gus, and Reginald stealing the tablet and have deactivated it. This is it. They deactivated the tablet to stop the exhibits from interfering. Like the exhibits, the elderly guards received enhanced vitality from the tablet and have plotted to steal it along with other valuable artifacts to fund their retirement and frame Larry for their crime. So I think we got most of that.
We got like broad strokes.
Yeah.
I forgot that they got like Scooby snacks. Strength from it.
Yeah, because there's a whole scene where they're like punching and kicking, and it's like, you guys are like 90.
Well, Dick Van Dyke, as we said, famously,
he's
still
crushing
out
it,
and
dude.
kicking.
He's crushing it. Nick reactivates the tablet, bringing the museum back to life. And so Nick just reactivates. Nothing crazy happens.
I think that's with the thing flipping. I really think we need to like YouTube this after to confirm.
Yeah. Okay. We'll comment on the episode once it comes out, and we'll tell you what happens. But the chase is halted. Okay, wait. Bringing the museum back to life, and the chase ensues throughout the museum. The chase is halted when Cecil snatches the tablet and locks Nick and Larry in the Egyptian room. Larry releases Akhmen-Ra's mummy from the sarcophagus, and the pharaoh, who removes his cloth to reveal himself to be a fully living human, helps Larry and Nick escape. This is Rami Malek.
Yeah.
They find the other exhibits amongst themselves. They're fighting, and they're not getting along, and Larry gives a big speech convincing all of them to unite and catch the guards. We didn't get this, but this is what happened.
I think that this was us being like, how did they get to like the getting everyone together?
This is the part we were confused about. Okay.
Yeah.
We're in the home stretch now.
Sorry.
No. Hey, don't apologize. You're crushing this. Gus and Reginald are captured while Cecil escapes on a Pony Express stagecoach. This is the car with the horse-drawn carriage we're talking about. Teddy pushes Sacagawea out of Cecil's path and is sliced in half, but survives. Larry pursues Cecil into Central Park, stopping him and regaining the tablet. Teddy bonds with Sacagawea as she repairs him. Rebecca sees the exhibits returning to the museum. She realizes the truth, and Larry introduces her to Sacagawea. The next day, wow, okay. they just didn't talk anything about how he stops him, but okay, he's been stopped. The next day,
Oklahoma. Again, we will
Oklahoma.
confirm that this detail came out.
yeah, it's whatever. We're going to just say that's right because it's not on the Wikipedia, so there's no way to prove it. The next day, Ricky Gervais attempts to fire Larry after news reports about the night's strange events, such as the people leaving cave paintings in the subway
but it gets
station.
Good press, and they come, and then he's rehired. Now I remember.
Wow, you literally got that word for word. It says, but the publicity boosts the museum attendance.
I remember,
Larry is rehired and celebrates the night with a party with Nick, Rebecca, and the exhibits in attendance.
Very
Cecil,
similar.
Gus, and Reginald are forced to work as museum janitors as punishment for their crimes as they clean up after the party. And that is the plot of Night at the Museum.
Maybe in a self-fulfilling prophecy, all the press for the night in the museum raised it in the movie, and also raised it in real life.
This is one of those things where it's like there was no way people weren't just gonna flock to the museum. I go to that museum and I'm just quoting Night at the Museum the whole time I'm there.
I remember afterwards, because around that age, then a bunch of we got letters to people doing Night in the Museum experiences that you could go and do and send your kids.
Yeah.
In the city.
I wanted to go to one, and I don't remember my parents would let me if I was busy the next morning, but I remember this being a concept that we thought about doing where you could have a sleepover at the museum and you'd bring a sleeping bag and you'd sleep there. But I feel if I went to one of those, I would have been mad when the museum didn't come to life. I'd be why am I here at a museum in the middle of the night sleeping on a hardwood floor?
Probably.
Okay, Sarah. Anything else you want to say about Night at the Museum?
Nope. Thanks for letting me talk about it, though. It was fun.
Okay. Well, we're going to end this episode the way we end every episode. Anything you want to plug?
Follow me on TikTok.
Follow us on TikTok. She does vlogs.
I do weekly vlogs.
I've been in some of them. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know what I've been doing on those, but, apparently I'm in them.
Become an influencer so I can quit my job at influencer marketing.
How many followers or, how popular would you need to get to quit your job?
I think it's a scalable thing because you could be a micro influencer and be getting a ton of brand deals. So I think it's
that's the dream.
Yeah.
It's not.
But actually no, I do have something to plug. I lied. I would like to plug Save Elizabeth Street Garden. Right now the city is trying to demolish the Elizabeth Street Garden, which is a public garden space in Nolita. And it is terrible. What they want to do is develop it into affordable housing for elders, which is a great and very noble cause.
Sure.
However, there are other places where that is better suited and where we don't have to destroy a beautiful community space. So go to or Google Elizabeth Street Garden, and then you can go on their website and send a pre-written email to Mayor Eric Adams and tell him a piece of your mind.
Can I just I have a platform. This is awesome. Eric Adams is the worst. I hate this guy. And my mom told me you're not a true New Yorker until you hate the mayor. And I'm a true New Yorker because this guy, Eric Adams, is the fucking worst. He's under investigation for bribery, not once, but 5 times. How? And you're supposed to be a cop. I hate this guy. I'm all on board for whatever you're talking about. Do you have a last link or something you want?
The link is just elizabethstreetgarden.com, and there are places that you can donate, learn more, and then write your easy email. So please save Elizabeth Street Garden.
Also, you should probably egg Eric Adams' house if you have the chance. But thanks, Sarah, for coming on. This was a blast.
Thanks for having me, Jasper. Bye.
Bye.
That was Night at the Museum. Great episode, great guest, great friend. I hope you listened to this at a museum. Because if you didn't, I don't want to say this, but I don't think you got the full experience. So you should go back to a museum, listen to this again, and then text me about how much more fun you had the second time. I also want to say, while I have a mic in front of me, fuck Eric Adams again. He has since got indicted since we recorded this, but you know what hasn't changed? He's still mayor. Could you believe it? Anyway, Chase made the music. Ross made the logo. The show is dedicated to Atlanta, Angie, and Rose, and I will see all of you on Thursday for Holes.